I said this is gonna be the one where they get me out of here. This might be that one. They gonna cancel me for sure. What's good with you, world? It's Ant. Welcome back to the neighborhood. Y'all see what we got going on today? Man, shout out to Set, man. I love all my folks in Nashville. We repping good HBCUs for the rest of this Black History Month, man. I love my HBCU. Hell, Wildcat. Shout out to the Bethune-Cookman University, Daytona Beach, Florida. Make sure you fund and donate in your HBCUs because we can't let our schools fail our people. They were started because we didn't have a place for us to go to get a higher education. And now that we have the advantages that we might not have had 50, 60 years ago, we should use them to our advantage. Even as a collective, maybe if black folks are the poorest demographic in this country is immaterial to this conversation. But if you love your HBCU, do what you can. If you can give back, give back. If you can go back, mentor, talk to people, talk to alumni, talk to incoming freshmen, talk to these kids that are graduating high school. Just do something to show some love. Either way. But man, I'm back at it with the rant season, man. It's just me getting shit off my chest. Since we speaking on HBCUs, let me talk about the greatest black college picnic that none of you niggas will ever get to experience because niggas ruin everything. About once a year, we have the conversation about bringing Freaknik back. Let me just say, as an Atlanta native, I would appreciate it if a lot of y'all would stay where you are. It's enough of you coming here and crowding every interstate. You know what I'm saying, but it's neither here nor there. So Freaknik's never going to happen again, aside from the fact that it was a traffic nightmare and that most of the people who came didn't leave. It was also sexual assault galore. Consent 2020. In the age where women expose DMs of men sending their genitalia, sending their phone numbers, and saying all types of crazy stuff, when women are pressing charges against everybody from the president of whatever broadcasting company you love to Bill Cosby for saying anything sideways, what makes you think that an open sex orgy on the streets of the blackest city in probably the United States and most definitely the South is a good idea in the year of our Lord 2020? I told y'all before in one of my last videos, don't go out bad because everything goes viral. Y'all can't not post y'all L's. Everything that happens to you, good, bad, ugly, or otherwise, goes on the internet before you let your mama, daddy, grandma, and probation officer know. There's absolutely no way that something as disgusting and as eccentric as Freaknik was going to work in a generation where you can't even decide whether or not you want to get cheese on your burger or not without asking Twitter first. Everything that could have possibly happened that Freaknik would go viral by the time you got finished doing whatever the hell it was you was doing. Ain't no way you was going to be fucking out in the open on the street with somebody live streaming that. The beautiful thing about our parents and older generations is they could do crazy shit and wouldn't nobody know except everybody was there and whoever it is that you shared it with. You have a VHS tape from Freaknik, you probably showed all your partners and maybe your kids. 50 people max have seen that tape. What I said this morning has been seen by probably 3 million people in about 17 different countries. There's just absolutely no way your ass, titties, and pussy was going to be out on Peachtree Street and nobody see it. Please get it right. Look, man, I understand that the 90s were this great generation that everybody wants to relive, but the 90s are over and nostalgia is stifling creativity. I don't want a whole bunch of different versions of shit that happened over 20 years ago. The 90s ended in 99. The last Freaknik was 99. It's been 30 years since 1990. The start of the heyday is over. Let's appreciate what we have going on now. Let's make something great out of this. Let's build our own brands. Let's do our own thing. But I don't want to recreate 1994. I wasn't there the first time. So Valentine's Day was the other day. I saw a whole lot of black love on the TL, be it Twitter or Instagram, and I just want to say I am a 110% supporter of black love. I want it to work, gay, straight, or otherwise, just as long as you love and buy black. Speaking of love, Valentine's Day and gifts, Young Miami bought Southside of Draco. If you know me, you know I'm pro Second Amendment. I feel like black people should arm themselves. I feel like black people should know the ins and outs of the gun laws in their state. They should also know how to work, clean, and store a firearm. Whether you own one or not, you need to know how to use one if somebody is throwing one at you or if you put yourself in a situation where it's sink or swim. I don't like to drown. If it's me or you, I like me every time. God bless. Young Miami bought Southside of Draco, and the internet had a whole lot to say about it, like everything else. So the word ghetto gets thrown around. Now, Nene Leakes made it funny to say, oh, woo child, the ghetto. It was funny at first. But after a while, the conversations that y'all have about black people from a certain aesthetic, black people from a certain walk of life, the conversations that y'all have mirror those of white supremacists. If you disagree, we can have a conversation in my DMs. I'm open to discourse and constructive criticism. But from my opinion and from my side of the fence, it sounds like some of y'all really, really hate being black. Personally, I don't think there's anything ghetto with somebody who's not a convicted felon, who is a black man, to arm himself legally. Whether or not he comes from a certain aesthetic or he's cut from a certain cloth, he has the right to bear arms just as anybody else in this country. Because if the NRA can have sticks and drums with scopes, then so can I. Face tattoos don't matter. The conversation that y'all have surrounding being black sometimes sounds like y'all try to treat it like it's a burden, or like we're consistently second-class citizens, like we're always in last place. And while we might be statistically last in a lot of conversations that matter, we have a culture that is deeper than what those can understand, and those who don't understand mock and mimic everything that it is we do. We are the blueprint, and if you don't believe that, that's a personal problem. All I'm saying is this: being black is the best thing about being alive, because even in the face of adversity, it's funner to come from behind and win. If you feel like we're in last place, that should do something for you. If you feel like black people are the chosen people and we started in first place with everything that we have going on, even better. I champion black excellence in all shapes, forms, and fashions, whether you do finances or whether you rap, whether you do hair, whether you're on Wall Street. If you're black and you're winning, I'm rooting for you. They say all skin folk ain't kinfolk, and while that's true, those that you know and you fuck with them, because we all we got. I'm just saying, man, sometimes it sounds like being black is something that needs to be dealt with, or something that needs to be tolerated, when it really needs to be loved, respected, and revered, and treated as something that everybody wants to obtain but doesn't have the qualities to go through. It's a unique and beautiful system that works for those who embrace it. So all I'm saying is that sometimes it sounds like black folks don't really like being black folks. So I'm going to just put this out in the atmosphere. 2020, we going into prosperity. I want to see black excellence. I want to see people owning properties, starting businesses. I want to see people excelling in music, fashion, the STEM field, education, whatever it is that you do that's black and beautiful. I want you to be the best black person you can be. Maybe not the only black person, because I want to see representation across the board. Not representation that's given to us, but representation that we foster through just us being the best at what we do. There's no value in self-depreciation. So self-hatred, however you want to identify that, whatever you consider self-hatred, that's up for interpretation. I'm not here to tell you what I feel like is self-hatred. Just anything that sounds like you don't like being black, you might want to examine that. You might want to have a conversation with yourself, with your family, your friends, constituents, whatever it is that you want to call them, people that you know who are black and who are comfortable being black. You got to define your blackness for you. Whatever works for you, make it work for you. All I'm saying is, as a collective, the pride that we take in our skin color should be across the board. In whatever variation or whatever type of way you want to be proud to be black, just be proud to be black. God bless. I'm just saying, man, the conversation has kind of gotten divisive. You got black men and black women going to war. Now, we definitely have our community issues. We definitely have a whole lot of trauma that needs to be resolved. But, you know, starting from the forefront, as a black man, you just have to respect a black woman. There's just absolutely no way you grew up in a society where you understood what we went through and you don't love the black woman. Whether or not that we have our unsolved trauma and conversations that need to be had is immaterial to the basic point of you as a black man have to understand that when you look at a black woman, you're looking in the mirror. You see yourself, period. There's absolutely no way you can tell me otherwise. You have a black mother. Whether or not you love her, respect her, or care anything about her, you have a black mother. Everything that you see about yourself, you see in her. Regardless. I'm not even speaking on men that don't have fathers, because I love my dad. I'm just saying in general, when you look at your mama, you see yourself. Period. Black men love their mamas. Everybody knows this. So the conversation really needs to start with, what is it as a black man that you don't see in the black woman? And we can go from there. But there's not a whole lot that you see in yourself that you don't see in these black women that you go to school with, that you work with, that you're romantically involved. We all share a common bond. Not even speaking on a dating level, but just from understanding that the struggle is mutual, whether we like each other or not, we have something in common. There's absolutely no way you could be a black man in this country and not respect and revere the black woman. The relationship needs to be examined and it needs to be repaired. It also needs to be looked at in context. Everybody's situation isn't the same. All black folks didn't come up the same. Everybody wasn't socialized the same. So having a conversation with people that you know and where they come from is the best way to foster change. But I'm just saying, as a collective, black men don't respect black women to the extent that they would appreciate, and the vice versa could be said. However, Black men need to understand that while black women are checking you and checking for you, they are not your enemy. They are your reflection. Wherever you lack, they're lacking because they still see you as the protector. Whether or not people believe black men take care of the household, you can sit here and argue about how many children are born out of wedlock and all of these statistics. They have to be looked at in context. They have to be looked at in a historical aspect. They have to be looked at as how far we've come from where we were. The black man is still seen as the protector in the black community, regardless of how your social and how your small circle of black folks might interact. As a whole, black men are still being looked at as what needs to be the standard, which is why black women are so critical of us. They expect the best from the best, and we need to oblige. So I'm not here to sit here and have a gender war conversation. I'm just saying that as a black man and as a black woman, looking at your reflection in the mirror is what you are looking at when you look at the opposite sex. So a conversation of repair needs to be had. If you want to have discourse and lead me to some topics, my DMs are open. All I'm saying is love you a black woman today, love you a black man today. Tip your black waitresses, and please, by all means, if you have to date interracially, please just listen. If you like white anything, it's 110% your business. I personally wouldn't recommend any of that. It's not my tea. All I'm saying is this. Just understand that most people are looking at you sideways, and people who are not looking at you sideways would appreciate it if you had nothing to say about it when they didn't ask. Date you a white girl, date you a white man. Be happy, be merry, but be quiet. Back at it again with another segment of Mind Your Goddamn Business. It's income tax season. You know, folks get real snooty, real uppity, real different around tax season. I understand that it's your money. You can do whatever you want to do with it, but please be humble. Put your money up somewhere, invest, buy some property, buy a vending machine. You know what I'm saying? Put your money somewhere and make it work for you. Is exactly what I would say if I really gave a damn what you did with your tax money. I would want you to spend it smart, but I would also want you to enjoy yourself and do what you want to do with the money that you get back from working. It's none of my business what you do with it. Everybody wants to preach black wealth, but I also believe in free will. Whatever makes you happy, do that. I just want people to make decisions that benefit them in the long run. Even then, it's none of my damn business what you do with it personally. I would just want to make sure you spend it on something that doesn't put you in a situation where you can't get yourself out of. However, if you want to put down on a Jeep, put down on a Hellcat, put down on a motorcycle, you work for that money. That's well within your right. Just as long as you don't fuck your credit up. Even then, it's none of my goddamn business. I want black people to be happy and be comfortable in themselves, even with the situation that they have going on. So stop telling people what to do with their tax money. If you got people that want to listen to what you have to say and you got a plan for these people, by all means, do what you got to do and have people follow you. But you don't get to shame people for doing shit that you wouldn't do because really nobody asked. I believe in free will. I believe in comfortable conversation. And I believe in comfortable living expenses. I believe in all of that. But whatever you want to do following those three criteria is none of my business. If I want to sit here and preach to you about what you need to do with your money, we need to make money together. However, I want all black people to understand that I'm with you in whatever it is that you decide to do. If you want to take your tax money and you want to open a stand that sells eyelashes, weed, and macaroons, that's 110% your business. Real shit, though. It's absolutely none of my business what you do with your money. I'm not a financial investor. I'm not a financial guru. However, I will say spend your money smart. But even then, it's none of my goddamn business. You work for that money. You got that money back. If you decide that you want to, drop money on the Hellcat, that's absolutely 110% your business. Just be happy, be safe, and make sure that you paid your bills. But even then, it's still none of my goddamn business. I can just suggest what I would respect for you to do, but it has nothing to do with me. It's Ant. Welcome to the neighborhood. Appreciate y'all for fucking with me. Gotta do a shameless plug. Look out for me on the next episode of Big Homie's House. My boy Big Homie Kodak on Twitter at Big Homie Kodak. That's Kodak with a Q, Kodaq. I'm on a podcast kicking real shit, man. Just talking my shit, popping my shit. Y'all gonna understand how I'm feeling from my perspective. So if you fuck with me, subscribe to his channel. Make sure you watch that episode. It's dropping tomorrow. And make sure you understand that I love all of you and everybody should love me equally. No, I'm kidding. Make sure you shop black, buy black, tip your waitresses, support your HBCUs. Follow me on Twitter at I'm No Role Model and follow me on Instagram at everythingxlowkey. It's Ant. Welcome to the neighborhood. I'm gone.